Welcome to the Four Seasons Podcast, brought to you by B&H Wealth Strategies, serving Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia since 1966. Here, we guide you through the ever-changing seasons of your financial journey, offering insights to help you grow, protect, and enjoy your wealth. Ready to turn your financial dreams into reality? Dare to dream. And now, here's your host, President of B&H Wealth Strategies, Jeff Bingham.
A major tax-advantaged account has entered the financial landscape, and it's already reshaping how families think about long-term planning. Today, we break down what it means, who it benefits, and how it could influence investment strategies moving forward. Welcome back, everybody. Skip Monty, co-host / producer, back in the studio with President of B&H Wealth Strategies, Mr. Jeff Bingham, and very fortunate to also have with us Mr. Jake Bingham, son of Jeff, and the next generation at B&H Wealth Strategies, the two J's, the Flying J's. Guys, how's the week been?
It's been great. Like I said, we've been busy, and we're planning for our clients' futures while we are planning for the future of this business. As you said, with Jake sitting beside me right here. So, as he's going to be more a part of these podcasts going forward. So, not everybody out there that watches this just has to see the old man's face and voice all the time. So that'll be a blessing for everybody out there that's watching.
Very good. Well, we're thrilled to have you, Jake. And I hope you didn't mind the Flying Jake comment. I kind of like that. So let's dive in. Today's topic is the new 530A Trump account and your perspective on how it impacts future investment. Jeff, open the floor to you. Take it away.
Sure. So I assume the 530A, because I don't even know the tax code numbers. We're talking about the Trump kids accounts. That's the first? Is that the number that you gave? Because you have two Trump accounts that are out there. You've got the kids accounts, which were rolled out under the big beautiful bill, and then there's kind of the Trump IRA accounts that are part of it too. So they're two separate. I think both are very good ideas, and I'll kind of share what I think about the why of those and why it's important that they've been put into play. Because the thing that we hear most often out there with the affordability crisis and the fact that the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer, so to speak, is that's kind of been the mantra that's certainly in the vocabulary of everybody out there, kind of in the public consciousness, if you will, is that, and that, I don't know, it's give or take off of this won't be exactly the right number, but probably 50% or more of the public out there doesn't have any ownership in the stock market. So when Wall Street's doing well and Main Street keeps, kind of getting left out of it, or as we like to say, Center Street, this is a way to begin to let those that have not had exposure to Wall Street, to the stock market, to participate in the growing of wealth and understanding what the ownership in the corporations and the companies, kind of the lifeblood of this country going forward is. So I think from that perspective, it's just a great idea to get more people involved and kind of not literally bought into this country, right? I mean, I think that's really the idea of this, is that to get ownership for everybody in these assets that have been going up and inflating in value over time, while those that don't own them are just watching inflation chew away at their purchasing power and not seeing their assets, their net worth, inflate as well, right, to keep up. And this is where that changes that. So the Trump kids accounts, are a way to get uh, you know, kids involved in it, from a very young age, and if from birth, if they sign up and they get involved in them, and the amount of wealth that can be created by starting early and funding often is just phenomenal of what kind of wealth can be created. And I think Jake's got some of the particulars on that, but like I said, from a high level perspective, we'll talk about the Trump IRA accounts perhaps here in a few minutes, time permitting. Again, I think it's another great opportunity because, again, we get the kids involved now, where we can fund from birth to age 18, excuse me, and then those that are in the workplace that don't have access to a 401k plan, that don't have necessarily the funds to fund these types of plans, et cetera. We can just get more ownership in the wealth creation, vehicle that is the U.S. stock market, the best performing asset to grow wealth that any country in the world at any time in civilization has ever seen. That's what the U.S. stock market is. We talk about all the problems, but man, entrepreneurship, the innovation of American people and corporations is where you want to have some money involved and the wealth that can be created out of that. So Jake's got some of the details on that. So I'll let you kind of ask him some questions and I'll turn the mic over to you guys.
Okay. Well, there's two different accounts we're talking about here. You said a kid account and what was the other one?
The Trump IRAs or the Trump retirement account, let's say.
Trump retirement. Okay. A retirement account. So how do these, and maybe it's not appropriate to talk about both of them in the same swipe, but how do these accounts compare to existing tax advantage vehicles that people may be familiar with, like a 401k?
Well, talking about the one for kids under 18 for that account, you would compare it to the 529 plan that saves for college. The Trump account is more of an IRA style. It gives the kids a chance to let their money grow, see it grow until they are 18. Their parents are the custodian, and they can take ownership over at 18. The difference between the 529 plan when they turn 18 is you can take that money out tax-free to use for college. The distributions out of the Trump accounts will be counted as income. So that's the difference, is one's for college and one's more suited for keep it to their retirement. It's a retirement vehicle.
Very good. Very good. Well, are there any limitations, or well, that's actually one is you have to count it as income, but are there any other limitations or misconceptions that investors should be aware of early on?
You have a $5,000 contribution a year. Your employer can contribute, and it counts against the $5,000 limit of $2,500. And that is not per child; that's per employee. So if you have two kids, you can't give $2,500 to each. You would have to split that up.
And let me add a little bit to it. Also, I think what's important too is that and this is limited, but any child born from January 1st, 2025 until December 31st, 2028 gets $1,000 contributed to the Trump kids account for their future right there. So and whether or not, and that's pre-funded. That was part of the big beautiful bill where this account came, but that $1,000 from the government, seeding it right off the bat, that doesn't count against the $5,000 either. So those kids that are born in that 4-year time span, right? For this really the years of the Trump administration, let's say, that are there. We'll see what happens, with the next Congress, with the next administration that comes in place, whether that'll be extended or not, for kids being born. And there are also exceptions to where that Jake was talking about, where it's thought of as a longer term retirement again. But there are exceptions that can be used for college where there wouldn't be 10% tax penalties and various things. So there are ways in which this money can be used for first time home purchases. There's some limitation on how much and all those kind of things, but there are ways to use this and not have to hold it and from birth until retirement and through age 59 and a half, which is kind of the age limit that we use for all types of retirement accounts, let's say, without 10% tax penalty. It's kind of an arbitrary number, but that's the number that we use and have since I've been in this business. So, it's just a way for, again, for kids and parents to be able to help fund their kids' future. And again, we're not, again, we could have a long conversation about college and the necessity of it, the not, who needs to go to college, who did, and all those kind of things. So it's an expansion of really the idea of every kid must go to college idea that we had when 529s, and education IRAs, Copperdales, and the like were some of the names that were there that, this is an extension of that doesn't have to just be used strictly for education to have its tax advantages. This is more of a long-term, the child has ownership of this at 18 and can use it in a way that benefits their long-term future, whether that be education or not. Sorry, but that's I think some of the big differences that are there.
Awesome. Well, does this open up any long-term planning opportunities that didn't exist before?
I think, and I'm not trying to steal this away from Jake. I think what it does, I don't know that it's a good question as I stammer around to try to answer it. I don't know that it opens up any new opportunities. And maybe when I say this, maybe this is an opportunity. What it does is that you're going to have kids at a much younger age, right, that are going to start paying attention to how money actually works, how compounding and money over time, adding money to accounts, they're going to see that, and that is, you know, and hopefully that will not only will they feel like they're participating in a world that sometimes they feel like they're being left behind, right? So all of a sudden, I mean, a kid that has this funded through his age 18, right? All of a sudden, if you think about how much money that could be, and it could be tens of thousands of dollars, it could be in the $100,000, $100,000 plus. I mean, Jake probably has some of the math on that that they can just, I mean, they don't feel like they're poor, right? And as they go in and leave the nest from home and journey out into the world. So I think it creates that. And so what that opportunity then begins to create is that now what can I do now? I've got this account. What else can I do when I get my job in the 401k plan? Or if I don't have a 401k plan, I can invest on my own because now I understand how money works. And I understand by investing in the US economy that I'm actually seeing my net worth increase while the prices at the grocery store and at the pump and all those things are going to continue. I'm buying homes, right? As we talk about the affordability crisis, I've got a pot of money over here that's being created. I can continue to let it grow and I can create new wealth through new vehicles that I understand a lot more now. So my education about money and investing has grown throughout my, probably more as you get to be a teenager and through high school. But all of a sudden, you don't just get thrown out into I'm 18 or 20 years old. How does the world work from a financial perspective? I think it has an opportunity to start educating kids at a much younger age to be, financially literate.
If you look at the Trump account website where you go and sign up, they estimate based on historical returns of how this money can be invested, which is low cost ETFs or mutual funds in the S&P 500.
Jake, we'll let you wrap up. What steps should someone take now if they're considering incorporating one of these plans into their financial?
Anybody that
plan?
is eligible should go and sign up. You can sign up with IRS form. I can't think of it or the number right now, or you can go to the IRS website and sign up. You just have to go online, sign into your IRS account, and you can do it.
And everybody that is eligible for any of these accounts that we're talking about needs to be paying attention to this, be made aware of it, and go sign up because you're leaving money literally on the table if you don't do it, right? I mean, that's whether we're talking about the kids' accounts as they're born within this time span, but also the Trump as this gets rolled out and that becomes eligible to sign up for the Trump IRAs, the Trump retirement accounts. If you're eligible, there's income limitations and those kind of things that we hadn't talked about. But you need to go get those set up and established because you want, and it's in a sense, it's free money. It's like your 401k plan. If you got a match in your 401k plan, you want to add money to the match and to make sure you're getting that free money, right? That match money, because that's return. Whatever's being put in, that's 100% return on your money by the day it goes in. So sign up today.
It's IRS form 4547.
4547, IRS form 4547. Very good. Jake,
Yeah.
Jeff, thank you guys so much for clearing this up for us today. And we'll look forward to seeing both you guys in the next episode.
Thank you, Skip.
Thank you, Skip.
Thanks for tuning into the Four Seasons podcast, brought to you by B&H Wealth Strategies, where your financial success is our priority. Schedule your free 20-minute consultation today by calling 423-247-1152 or by visiting bhretire.com. Take the first step toward making your financial dreams come true. Until next time, remember, every season is the right season to plan for your future. Securities and registered investment advisory services offered through Silver Oak Securities, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. B&H Wealth Strategies and Silver Oak Securities, Inc. are not affiliated.